A mother's scream cuts through the quiet Bankstown night. Masked gunmen storm through her front door. An 8-year-old boy collapses, blood streaming from his head after a vicious baseball bat attack. Within minutes, 45-year-old T. Kim Tran is dragged from her home at gunpoint, stripped naked, and forced into a waiting SUV. Just 1 hour later, her bullet-riddled body is found burning inside a charred vehicle 6 kilometers away. This wasn't a random act of violence. This was a contract killing ordered by a Vietnamese drug cartel, and Kim Tran's only crime was being married to the wrong man. On April 17th, 2025, around 10:30 in the evening, police received a frantic call from a Bankstown residence in Sydney's southwest. A group of up to 5 masked men had just invaded the home, armed with firearms and baseball bats. What unfolded in those terrifying minutes would shock even seasoned homicide detectives. Kim Tran, a 45-year-old mother of 2 who had emigrated from southern Vietnam over a decade ago, was celebrating what should have been a happy time in her life. She had just turned 45 earlier that month, surrounded by her children at birthday parties captured in family photos. But the life she'd built in Australia was about to be violently torn apart because of her husband's alleged involvement with an organized crime network. When the masked intruders burst through the door, they weren't alone in their brutality. An 8-year-old boy, Kim's youngest son, was viciously attacked with a baseball bat. The blows to his head were so severe that he had to be placed in an induced coma after paramedics rushed him to hospital. A 15-year-old boy, also present in the home, witnessed the horrific scene and required hospitalization for psychological assessment. The attackers were methodical and ruthless. They held Kim at gunpoint while stripping her naked, a dehumanizing act that emphasized the cruelty of this organized hit. Then they dragged her outside and forced her into the back of an SUV before speeding off into the night. Multiple vehicles were involved in the operation, suggesting this was a well-coordinated attack by multiple perpetrators working in concert. At 11:30 that same night, barely an hour after Kim was taken, emergency services received another call, this time reporting a vehicle fire on Welfare Avenue in Beverly Hills, approximately 6 kilometers from the Bankstown home. Fire and rescue. New South Wales crews arrived to find an SUV engulfed in flames. After extinguishing the blaze, they made a grim discovery. Inside the destroyed vehicle was a body burned so badly that visual identification was impossible. However, police strongly believed it was Kim Tran. Investigators would later confirm that Kim had been shot before the vehicle was set ablaze, adding another layer of calculated violence to an already brutal crime. So why was Kim Tran targeted? The answer lies in the shadowy world of Vietnamese organized crime and the dangerous business of drug trafficking. According to New South Wales Police, Kim's husband had been involved with a Vietnamese-linked organized crime network based in Melbourne for a considerable period of time. The cartel believed he had stolen drugs from them, a transgression that carries a death sentence in the underworld. But there was a problem for the crime syndicate. They couldn't find Kim's husband, so they did something that even hardened detectives found shocking. They went after his family instead. Homicide Squad Commander Joe Dwayhe addressed the media days after the killing, expressing his disgust at the tactics employed. He stated that the syndicate was breaking their own code of conduct by targeting women and children. The level of violence against innocent family members, he said, was rare and unprecedented. These weren't just targeted offenses. They were calculated attacks against innocent people who had no direct involvement in the criminal activities that sparked this vendetta. The investigation, dubbed Strike Force Bushfield, moved quickly. In August, 4 months after Kim's murder, police arrested 29-year-old An Nguyen during a raid on a unit in Bankstown. Nguyen was charged with murder and grievous bodily harm. Police alleged he played a crucial facilitating role in the crime. According to investigators, Nguyen had lured Kim's killers to her home, knocked on her door to gain entry, and then stepped aside as the group stormed inside and abducted her. His alleged cooperation made the entire operation possible, but the investigation didn't stop there. Detectives continued building their case, tracking down the members of what they described as a hired kill crew. These men had been contracted with one specific mission: to find and assassinate Kim Tran's husband. When they couldn't locate him, they allegedly made the decision to murder his wife and injure their young son as a message. On Thursday morning, October 23, 2025, officers from Strikeforce Bushfield arrested 3 more men at Parramatta Police Station. The suspects aged 30, 22, and 21 were each charged with a disturbing array of offences, including murder, conspiracy to murder, wounding with intent to cause grievous bodily harm, kidnapping in company with intent to cause grievous bodily harm, and participating in a criminal group. All 4 men now face these serious charges before the courts. The ripple effects of Kim Tran's murder extend far beyond this single case. Last week, Organised Crime Squad Commander Peter Foe revealed there were potentially some links between Kim's death and recent raids on safe houses tied to a Southeast Asian organised crime syndicate, where more than half a ton of drugs was seized. Even more concerning, Superintendent Foe indicated it was highly likely the case was connected to an assassination attempt that police foiled at a Condell Park daycare on October 8th. The targeting of a daycare, a place where innocent children gather, shows just how far these criminal networks are willing to go. Kim Tran's family, devastated by her loss, have been calling for justice since that horrific night in April. A relative paid tribute to her online, pleading with the Australian government to quickly return justice to the woman who had built a life in Australia for more than 10 years. The photos they shared show a loving mother who threw birthday parties for her children and posed happily alongside her family. That woman, who had done nothing wrong except fall in love with the wrong man, paid the ultimate price for someone else's criminal choices. Her 8-year-old son, who survived the baseball bat attack, will carry both physical and psychological scars for the rest of his life. Her 15-year-old son witnessed his mother being dragged away to her death. These children are the collateral damage in a war they never asked to be part of. As this case moves through the courts, it raises disturbing questions about the reach and ruthlessness of organised crime networks operating in Australia. When criminal syndicates are willing to kidnap, torture and murder innocent women and children to settle scores, it signals a dangerous escalation in violence that threatens entire communities. The fact that multiple people were willing to participate in such a brutal crime that they could strip a mother naked, shoot her and burn her body without apparent remorse speaks to a level of depravity that goes beyond simple criminality. Kim Tran's story is a stark reminder that organized crime doesn't just hurt those directly involved in criminal enterprises. It destroys families, traumatizes children, and leaves entire communities living in fear. What do you think should happen to those who target innocent family members to settle criminal scores? Should the penalties be even more severe when children are harmed in these attacks? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to follow us. See you in the next story.